Hi guys, my name is Jada. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy that you're here. Today I will be telling you guys a story time on when God told me to leave a relationship and I didn't listen. Quick disclaimer: one, I am safe now. I am completely safe from this person. This person no longer has access to me. I have cut this person off. I had blocked them. I have moved away from this person and I am completely safe now. And two, if you are just triggered by narcissistic abuse, people talking about it, you can't stand to think about it, please DM me on Instagram, please email me, and I will give you tips and tricks on how to leave a narcissistic abusive relationship safely. And lastly, if you know anybody, a friend, family member, sibling, anybody who needs this type of advice, please share this video with them. This could literally save someone's life, and I am so happy that I got out of this situation still mentally sane. I know people who deal with narcissistic abuse, it can feel like you're getting nowhere with this person. They make you feel like you're the crazy one. So please share this with them. This could really save somebody, especially if you're a woman or a young woman of God. So a little background about how I got into this situation. So I remember last year around the summertime of 23, my family situation and family dynamic in the home was just not healthy. I remember coming home every day to just fighting and just so much tension and just so much negativity that it really took a toll on my mental health, and it took a toll on my relationship with Jesus. I was getting into it with my mother a lot. I was just trying to, by any means necessarily, not be home. Thankfully, God blessed me with a car around that time, so I was able to do Uber Eats. I was able to just leave whenever I wanted, go visit friends. Having a car around that time was my only escape. I remember during the summer, I really needed to find a job. It seemed like no one in the area that I was living in was hiring at the time, which was kind of weird because it's like, it's summer, nobody's hiring. I remember my little sister was working at Target at the time, and I remember applying to Target, but I got declined. They rejected me, but thank God there was a Walmart right across the street from the Target she worked at, and so I applied to Walmart. I ended up getting hired, of course, and I began working there. I knew a couple people, had a couple friends who worked at Walmart before, and people said how bad it is, how like rough and just exhausting it was. That wasn't my experience. Honestly, Walmart was the most easiest job I've ever had, and I haven't had that many jobs in my life, but Walmart was so chill. So everything seemed to be going well at Walmart. It was very chill, like I had mentioned. But then I remember seeing someone who I had never seen before, and y'all, when I tell you that it was a guy and he was so fine, it didn't make no sense. This dude was so fine. Let me describe him for y'all, okay? Over 6 foot, maybe 6'1", 6'2". He was so dark. Like, he was just dark chocolate. He had those he had those twists in his head. It kind of looked like these, but it was shorter and probably came up to here. And y'all, he was tall, dark skinned, dreads. Ah! And when I saw him, I'm like, oh my gosh, is he new? Has he been working here? I've never seen this man before. So I remember asking a coworker who worked with me in the toy department, I'm like, yo, who is that? Who is that? Because this is my dream man. This is the man that I've been asking God for since I was in high school. And you're going to tell me that this man works at Walmart? How did I get so lucky? So the coworker was like, no, I've never seen him before, but you should say something. You should shoot your shot. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. What if he has a girlfriend? Every time I would see him walking around or doing his job at Walmart, he always had his headphones in. So I'm like, he clearly doesn't want to be bothered. He probably hates working here. And this is just, you know, a little summertime thing for him as well. So then a week or two went by. I still didn't talk to him, but oh my gosh, y'all, like I would kind of peep around the corner just to watch him work, and he was so strong. Like, I think he worked in the back of Walmart because every time he would come out on the floor, he had like loads and loads of boxes that he would just open and stack on the shelves. Like, this man, he was built. So one day he gets assigned to work in the toy section like me, and I'm like, all right, this is my chance. I'm finally gonna say something to this man. He's gonna know I exist today. So I walked up to him. I'm like, hi, I'm Jada, nice to meet you. He said, nice to meet you, Jada. And then I heard an accent. I'm like, hold on, not only is this man built, tall, fine, and he has an accent. So I said, hey, where are you from? I love your accent. It kind of sounded French, but like he was from somewhere else. And he said, oh, I'm from Mali, Africa. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they do speak French in Mali. So I'm like, y'all, not only is God just providing me with this dream man, so I thought, he's bilingual, trilingual probably. That, like, this is just, I'm sold, y'all. I'm sold at this point. Like, it doesn't even matter his background. Like, I'm just sold. So then we start talking, we start chit-chatting, and I'm like, kind of like flirting a little bit. I'm like, yeah, so I've been working here like about a month, and you never came up and talked to me. He was like, dang, for real? This is my first time seeing you. I really don't like working here. I'm just here just for the summer, you know, just to stack up some money, and I'm going to school in the fall. And I'm like, oh, what school are you going to? He was like, Georgia State. And I'm like, no way, I go to Georgia State. And he was like, really? How is it? And I'm like, ugh. Which one are you going to? He was like, I'm probably going to the perimeter campus. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. I'm just not a city girl. Don't really like the city like that. But that's nice you're going to school. What are you going for? He was like, I don't know, probably business or computers. I haven't decided yet. And I'm like, how old are you? He was like, oh, I'm 20. And I'm like, you're 20? He kind of hesitated, y'all, and that kind of gave me the side eye. I'm like, you're 20? He was like, yeah, I'm 20. My birthday's in November. What about you? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 22. I'm turning 23 in June. He was like, all right, that's what's up. He was like, do you have a Snapchat? And I'm like, ugh, of course. All the young dudes have Snapchat, don't they? And I'm like, all right, I'll give you my Snap. And he was like, bet, like, what are you doing after work? And I'm like, I'm not really doing nothing. I live really close. I live like 2 minutes down the road. And yeah, I'm not really doing anything after work. Because we got off pretty late, y'all. Like, our shift, I think, was from 1 to 10. And Walmart closed right at 10. So at this point, it was pretty late in the night. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to text you after work. And I'm like, all right. So fast forwarding, y'all, we end up texting a lot. We end up getting on the phone, FaceTiming and everything. And at this point, he wants to take me out on a date. So y'all, the plan was that he was going to take me out on a date to like walk the trail, and then we were going to go to the movies. So I'm like, all right, bet, this is perfect. I love nature. I love movies. And I was feeling pretty good. So it's about an hour before we're supposed to meet up, and then he calls me, I believe, and he says, hey, do you mind if we take your car because my car doesn't have air conditioning? Your car doesn't have air conditioning? It's like July at this point. He was like, yeah, my brother, he needs to figure it out. He just gave me this car. It's really old. Are you able to scoop me? And I'm thinking, y'all, no. And I don't know what it is about him, but picking up a guy on a date isn't usually anything that I do ever. But for him, I considered it because, I mean, for one, he is younger than me. And two, okay, no air conditioning. I'm going to be uncomfortable during the date. So I picked him up. So we ended up going to the park. It was so hot, guys. It was so hot. I had brought so much water. I had brought some snacks for us, and we just were walking, talking, and he was so respectful, guys. Like, he treated me like an absolute princess. Like, every time I would talk, he would actually be engaged listening to me, and that's really rare because a lot of guys, they're so nonchalant. They just be like, So I really thought that he was different. He was just so in tune with what I was saying. He was so respectful. He would always say how beautiful I was. He would always compliment my hair, my outfits. So then we're walking, and we finally come to one of those park benches where you could rest. And I'm like, oh, I need to sit down. My feet kind of hurt. And he was like, yeah. So we were kind of sitting like this far apart from each other. And he was like, stand up and come here. And I'm like, Okay, I know what that meant. And I'm like, what? And he was like, Jada, you are just so amazing, and you are literally just a light to me. Like, I moved here from Africa just to have a fresh start. My father died when I was very young, and I ended up moving here to the US with my brother just to get a fresh start. And you have been just the highlight of my summer so far. I love you. He said I loved you. Flag, red flag, red flag. What? Yo, this dude literally said, I love you so much. Will you be my girlfriend? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I done got this little boy sprung. And keep in mind, y'all, I was in a vulnerable place too. I mean, things weren't going good at home. I really wasn't happy. I wasn't really in my word a lot. So having him actually say that he loved me, that's something I actually needed to hear. And that's something at the time I thought is what God was sending me. I thought he was sending me a guy to take my mind off of what was going on at home and to just be in this relationship. Somehow I could be fulfilled in this relationship, which ended up not being the case. So I said yes. We end up going to the movies after the trail, and then everything was going good up until we got to the movie. He kept texting someone and kept declining calls, and I'm like, who is that? And he was like, oh, it's my sister-in-law. She wants to see how late we're gonna be out. And I'm like, this little boy got a curfew? He was like, no, it's not a curfew. They want to meet you. And I'm like, why? Like, your family? He was like, yeah, my sister-in-law just wants to meet you, just wants to see what you look like, just get a picture of the girl who I've been going out with, or who I've been out with all day. So I go and meet his family. Everything, guys, was just moving too quick. And I'm like, all right, he just asked me to be his girlfriend. He wants me to meet the family. Like, what is going on, bruh? This isn't normal, right? Right? Like, this isn't normal. This can't be normal to move this dang quick. So I'm not going to bore y'all with the details. I did end up meeting his family. Very sweet family. Like I said, they were from Africa. So they all had accents. They all treated me very well. We were probably about 3 weeks in at this point, and his sister-in-law invited me over for dinner, and I'm like, of course I'll go to dinner. So then this was our first time to actually one-on-one get to know each other. So we're all sitting at the dinner table. It was his brother, his sister-in-law, and his sister. So we're all eating, talking, and she was like, so Jada, what made you attracted to him? And I'm like, oh, well, he's just been treating me so nice. He's so sweet. And yeah, like, we just love being around each other. And she was like, well, I know that you're 23 at this point, but what will make you want to date an 18-year-old? I'm like, what? Huh? I said 18. Leo told me he was 19 turning 20. Leo just graduated high school in May. I was like,
this can't be.
No. Guys, up until the family dinner, me and this guy have been, and we're grown, y'all. We're grown. So I'm trying to be vulnerable here. I'm not holding anything back. There's a lesson behind this story. But me and this guy have been kissing. We have been doing a lot at this point, and we have been pretty much just enjoying each other's company every other day. This dude has literally been lying to me for weeks upon weeks, almost a whole month, about his age and just everything. So I'm pissed at this point. So after the dinner, I end up going back home, and I completely just go into this whirlwind of, I need to end things. I need to end things, because if you're lying about your age, what other things are you lying about? So I think I ended up talking to him the next day. He was at work and I live fairly close. So I told him, hey, when you're on your break, can you please come over? I need to talk to you. So he ends up meeting me in front of my house, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, I really liked you. I really thought that everything was going well, but lying about your age, that's nothing I can really get past. You're way too young for me. I'm 23 and you're 18. Like, that means you were born in what, 2004, 2005? That's too young for me, bruh. And I said, it has nothing to do with you. I just can't be with anyone that young. And he was like, well, what do you mean? We've been doing this, we've been doing that. I've been taking you out. And I'm like, I get that. I understand, but you lied to me about your age. That's nothing to play with. If you graduated in 2023, I graduated 2018. That's too big of a gap, bruh. And so while I was talking to him, I could see his eyes kind of like, I can't even explain it, but his eyes were like he was huffing and puffing real hard. His eyes were like really like low and like he was angry. And I had never seen him like this before. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And he was like he kind of got himself together. He was like, okay, I understand. So we got in his car, we hugged, and he pulled off. So when he got back to work, I ended up getting a call from him. I guess he was still in his car. And when I answered the phone, I was like, hello. And I heard like he was crying. And I'm like, hello? And he was like, what the F do you mean you're done with me? What are you talking about? He was going off, y'all. And I'm like, I have never seen this side of him before. He was like, you are never done with me. Do you hear me? Do you effing hear me? You are not done. We are not done. And I'm like, bruh, calm down, calm down. And he was like, no, you're going to waste my time? Huh? You wasting my time? I did this for you. I did that for you. What are you, stupid, huh? And I'm like, yo, like you don't even have to go there, bruh. He was like, no, are you effing stupid? After all I did for you. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, he did do stuff for me within these past weeks. He's bought me stuff, he's taken me out a lot, so I'm not denying that. And I just told him, I'm like, you lied about your age. That this is too big of an age gap. Like what, 4 to 5 years? That's crazy. I can't do it. I'm sorry. And he was like, nah, when I get off of work, we're gonna talk this out. We're gonna talk this out, cause F this, you ain't leaving me. And y'all, that was just the beginning of hell. So I remember I ended up taking him back. And the reason was, honestly, he just made me feel so wanted and so needed. He literally was always there. And I thought that my dream man, I thought he was sent from God. But the moment I took him back, I knew that it was a mistake. This man, ever since that day, ever since that phone call, guys, it was just awful. I remember he always wanted to know where I was going. He always wanted to know where I was, who I was with. Every time we answered the phone, it wouldn't be, hi, how are you, like it used to be. It would be, where are you? I had given him my location, so he was able to track me. I remember I had made excuses for him, and at this point, he had met my family. I had met his close family and friends, and I had noticed, guys, that this man was actually broken. He was so broken. He was so just, even though he was 18, 19, he had lived a hard life. He had told me that, you know, the real reason he came to the US was because he was always sneaking out, and he was always just getting into such bad friend groups and crowds, and his family literally had no choice but to send him here to the US. Being around him wasn't even fun anymore. Like, every time we would be around each other, we would always get into an argument. Always. There wasn't a day that went by where he didn't call me stupid, where he didn't call me dumb, or he wouldn't just playfully just nudge my head or just slap me on the face. It was becoming a little demonic at this point. Like, he got off on pushing my buttons and just making me feel bad. And after maybe a month and a half at this point, I knew that this man wasn't sent by God. This man couldn't have been sent by God, because if he was sent by God, I wouldn't have been feeling the way I felt when I was around him. The devil had sent this man to me. Sometimes the devil can make your dream man look like an angel. And the devil knew that I was just the perfect victim at the time. He knew that I was already broken, that I was already numb to pain. I was already experiencing it with my own family, so he just wanted to get that one last jab at me. And God told me to leave, but I didn't listen. I thought that I was able to change him. I thought I was able to fix him. So now we're getting into the school year. This was probably August. I remember inviting him over to one of my best friend's house. And my best friend, he has this own place where in his home he has like this bar area, and he invited me to come watch this fight at the movies with him, but I was with my boyfriend at the time, so I had to invite him too. And when we got to his house, I remember I wasn't drinking like that, but he wanted to drink, the guy. So he was just taking white liquor, dark liquor, clear liquor, just any type of liquor my friend had. He kept chugging it back. And I'm like, bruh, like, slow down. Like, we're just going to the movies. And he was like, don't effing tell me what to do. So I'm like, all right. So we end up going to the movies, and he's too hungover to even get out the car, y'all. He's just too hungover. And I'm like, and he was the type of person where if I would say something, he would take it as criticism. And that's what narcissists do. Narcissists can never take accountability, criticism, nothing. They always think that they're in the right. So when we had gotten to the movies at this point, he was so drunk that he couldn't even get into the movies. And I'm like, why would you drink so much when I told you we were going to the movies? And he was like, well, don't effing tell me what to do. You think I wanted to do this, huh? You made me do this. And I'm like, me? How did I make you do it? He said, cause you brought me here knowing that I love to drink. And I'm just like, but this isn't my fault. I only had one drink. You had about 10 shots. Make it make sense. So my friend is in the movie theater waiting for us to come in, because we were just sitting in my car to help him sober up a little bit. And he just kept screaming, like, stop telling me what to do. Stop telling me what to do. F you, F you. And I'm like, bruh, stop. Like, it's not that deep, bruh. And then he's gonna literally push my head into this door right here. And I'm like, no, nah. So I remember telling my friend, look, I gotta go. I gotta get him home, and I just gotta go. So my friend was like, all right, drive safe. So this was at night, y'all. I hate driving at night, but of course, Mr. Ain't Got No Air Conditioning was always in my vehicle. So I remember going home. We were going back to my spot, and I was literally just booking it the way home. I'm not a speeder, but I was so mad. My blood was boiling. I was just ready to kick him off the road, kick him off 285. I was so pissed, y'all. He was like, slow down, slow the F down. I said, no, F you. And I was just booking it all the way home. So when we got into my apartment complex, I literally reached over, unlocked the door. I said, get out, get the F out. And he was like, I'm drunk. I said, I don't care. Get in your own car. Whatever happens to you on the road, I don't care. Get out my car. Leave me alone. He was like, you're so stupid. You're so effing stupid. I hate you, bruh. And I'm like, you're really gonna talk to me like that? You're really gonna talk to me like that? F you, bruh. F you. You know what? I'm blocking your number. Don't ever call me again. Don't ever come here again. You're done. I don't want you anymore. Get out of my car. So he ends up getting out of his car. He ends up making it home. Well, I think he would have ended up making it home because I had blocked his number that night. I remember that night just crying, just bawling my eyes out. Here I'm thinking, just a month ago and a few weeks ago, my dream man is literally my worst nightmare at this point. I'm living. This is my reality. My so-called boyfriend just called me stupid. He called me the R word. He made me feel this small, guys. This man was so broken at 18. And with narcissists, they make you feel like you're always the problem. Here I am, my heart full. I was still broken too, but at least I was willing to accept any type of love at this point that I could get. And here the devil saw a great opportunity to break it even more, to break me and damage me even more. So at this point, I mean, we were still together. 3 weeks had went past and nothing had really changed except for our arguments. I mean, now we were arguing once a week rather than every day. So I mean, that was that. I remember he had came to my apartment and everything was going good and we were just chilling, and I told him, hey, I'm hungry, can you take me to, I don't know, it was either McDonald's or Cookout or something. And he's like, all right, but are you gonna pay for me? I'm like, well, I already paid for your parking here, because in my apartment you guys have to pay for parking. And he was like, no, whatever, what the F ever, like, let's just go, come on. So we get into the car and he's still talking, he's still mad. He was like, I just don't understand you. I really just don't understand you. Like, you're just so cheap. Like, you're just so effing irresponsible. Like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I paid for your parking. I have bills now. I'm not living at home like I used to when we worked at Walmart. Like, I have more responsibilities. Dang, all I asked you was to take me to a fast food place to get food. And he was like, but it's not about the food. It's not about that. It's you, bro. You're just the problem. You're just the worst. You're just a bitch. Like, you're just this. Y'all, this man is literally dogging the F out of me. And I'm like, whoa. All right. Now I'm not holding anything back. So we ended up getting the food, and on our way back, he's still going. And I said, you know what? I am done with you. I said, you know what? Actually, let me off here. And he was like, where do you think you're going? I said, just let me off here. Like, I'd rather walk through the city of Atlanta at midnight than be in your car. Let me out. So I'm trying to unlock the door. And he was like, no, like, you're not leaving. So then I remember, because if y'all have ever lived in Atlanta, people here drive so fast. You need to be so careful when you're driving in the city of Atlanta. And that's where I was currently staying. So he was just driving so fast, and I'm just crying. I'm like, stop talking to me like this. Stop it. Stop. And he was like, shut the F up. And so then I remember that there was cars that were stopping ahead of us. We were probably like 50 feet away from the cars. And I'm like, stop, you're gonna hurt me, stop. And y'all, we ended up this close to almost hitting a vehicle. We almost got into an accident, guys. He slammed on the brakes, stopped, and he said, get out. And I said, you almost got us into an accident. He said, get out. Get the F out. Y'all, this part of the story always gets to me the most, because in my life, I have been in 3 separate car accidents. One with my family, one with a friend, and another on my own. The devil tried to take me out with this guy. The devil tried to take me out, and God literally stopped that vehicle from crashing. And I knew that was God because of how fast he was going. And thank God no one was behind him. That if he wouldn't have stopped, I don't know what kind of condition we would be in. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I don't even know if we would make it out. They would have probably had to bring the jaws of life to get out of that accident if we had crashed into that vehicle. And I think by me screaming, it scared him, so he had to put on the brakes. But I swear to God, guys, like if he wouldn't have stopped, his goal was to try to crash his car. He tried to crash his car. And that's how sick and that's how twisted narcissists are. Because I guarantee you, when the police would have came, he would have told them that this was my fault. He would have told them that I was the one in the wrong. But because God saved me, he gave me a second chance. And in that moment, I heard God saying, "Get out." And God doesn't repeat himself twice. I heard God with tears in my eyes, tears. He told me to get out. So I made it back home. I did end up walking, which is very dangerous. He knew that. He didn't care. And when I got back home, I just dropped on my knees and I just said, "Jesus, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, God. I thank you for saving me, Jesus. Thank you." And I remember just feeling just this warm sensation, just this warm energy around me, like Jesus was just giving me a hug. And I just heard his voice. He said, "I love you, Jada. It's okay. Just come to me with all your problems. Do not place your problems in boyfriends, friendships, drugs, alcohol, whatever. Just come on to me. I was here the whole time. I stopped that accident." The sirens are going off, y'all. This is how you know. This is how you know it's a sign. I'm not making this up, y'all. He literally tried to kill me. And if not kill me, he literally tried to injure me, so I would be more dependent on him. But God didn't let that happen. So at the end of the year, I ended up completely changing my number because he would try to contact me from his friends' numbers, text-free numbers. He would try to contact me, so I ended up changing my number right before 2024. So now he has no contact to me whatsoever. But I remember that I still had some of his friends on Snapchat, and I ended up hearing from one of his friends, maybe it was a month after our relationship ended, that he ended up getting into a very bad car accident. His friend told me that he was by himself and that the accident was due to speeding, and that, you know, when you get off, when you like merge onto an exit and it has that really round, like it kind of goes in a circle, he was driving so fast that he ended up flipping off that exit. His car went tumbling and he almost died from that accident. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is he okay? The friend was like, yeah, he was fine, but he was in the hospital for weeks and he was trying to get a hold of you, but he just couldn't contact you. And I'm like, well, thank you for letting me know. And that was really hard to hear, because hearing that someone who you loved at some point almost died in a car accident, I immediately thought back to when he was trying to do that to me? Like, and that's what I was thinking. Like, is something wrong with him? Is something like mentally wrong with, like, I just couldn't understand why at 18 years old you already have these thoughts and already have such this rage and just this anger towards you. So I ended up going to therapy, and the therapist told me that I most definitely was in a relationship with a narcissist, and that she was so happy that I had the strength to leave and that I was just able to make it out of that relationship alive, pretty much. Moral of the story: whether you're a man, woman, whether you're younger, older, it doesn't matter. When Jesus tells you to end a relationship, and it didn't have to be as severe as mine, even if it's the person just as little as cheating on you, talking to you a certain way, whatever the case may be, if God tells you to leave a situation, this could be life or death. Jesus literally saved me, saved my life. I can't even imagine if he were to crash us both in the car, what would have happened. And I have brothers, I have siblings, I have a whole family that I need to be here for, and Jesus knew that. Jesus knew that, and that's why I get so emotional, and I thank God every day, because Jesus was like, not my daughter. Not my daughter. You can run your own self off the road. But when it comes to Jada, I got her. She's mine. And I just thank God for that. Because even though I was still broken and I was still kind of just putting God to the back burner, God never forgot about me. He never did. And guys, I just hope that this story really resonates with somebody. If you are in a relationship and this person is constantly causing you physical pain, emotional pain, if they're threatening to do things that could be harmful to your life, leave. Just leave, guys. I'm telling you, like, it's not worth it. Just go listen to God. God knows what's best for you. That's the devil trying to take you out, not Jesus. Thank you guys for listening to this very emotional yet very touching story time. I hope that this story resonates with somebody out there. Please share this video to someone who you would like to see leave a narcissistic, abusive relationship. This video could literally save their life. I love you guys so much, and thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.